A Moment in His Presence presents Divine Encounters with Joyce, Todd, and Kim Bradley.
Hi, and welcome back. Welcome back to our new series, A Divine Encounter.
Divine encounters. But it's all good. It's all good. Let's go on, Joyce. Who we talking about today?
We're talking about Abigail. And Abigail's story can be found in 1 Samuel 25. And what we all know about Abigail is that she was beautiful, she loved the Lord, and she was married to a wealthy man. Now, we all know that Abigail was responsible also for the saving of her whole household. But her husband, he wasn't very wise at all in making decisions.
You know, as a matter of fact, it says her husband was prideful, and according to the 25th chapter of the Bible, he was just downright foolish. You know, as a matter of fact, Abigail says herself, she says, "My Lord, pay no attention to this worthless fool Nabal, for he lives up to his name. His name means stupid." And stupidity is all he knows. And what we do know is his stupidity and foolishness of not wanting to give David food got David riled up. And he was ready to come take the whole household out.
He sure was. But you know, when Abigail's servants came to her, and they must have very much respect for her, to go to her and let her know all that had happened, how her husband refused to give the food and stuff to David. Abigail got up immediately and she started putting things together, some grain, some food, some wine, and made all of this this little care package together for David, you know, for him. And you know, I thought about that Abigail didn't even tell her husband. She didn't tell her husband. She kept quiet. And I thought about Ecclesiastes 3:7b that says there's a time to be quiet and there's a time to speak. And Abigail was wise enough to know that this was not the time to speak.
Exactly. And you know, when she rode out to meet David, she rode out, and when she got to him, she presented herself in a state of humility. She was very humble when she asked for forgiveness on behalf of her husband.
Right, and she took the blame.
Yes, she did.
She really took the blame for what her husband had done. And then she began to speak to David. She began to encourage him and speak words of life, you might say, into him. And she began to tell him how good God had been to him and how he had protected him and helped him fight battles and all that he had done for him. And then she let him know, you don't want to take innocent blood. You don't want to shed innocent blood. You don't want to take the lives of innocent people. My servants haven't done anything. She said, let God be your revenger. And so David's heart was pricked. I believe his heart was pricked because he had a change of mind. And she also asked him to remember her when he became successful and really got the victory over this thing.
And you know, one of the things that I like about this story is when we read about how foolish Nabal was, how stupid Nabal was. You know, you can imagine that Abigail was probably not in a very good situation. She probably, you know, sounds like it might have been abusive. But the thing is, Abigail chose to stay. You know, when we find ourselves in a situation, we want to run, we want to get out of them. But because she chose to stay, God took care of that situation. He took Nabal out of here, and Abigail found herself the wife of a king.
King David. That's right. She became the wife of King David. So, you know, from Abigail, we can learn to be courageous, have humility, to have good judgment, and to be wise. And then I think one of the most important things is to have a good attitude, the right attitude. You know, make the right do the right thing with the right spirit, I would say.
Exactly.
And you know why? Because you are the apple of his eye.